Alright, so today we're gonna continue on actually with linear and quadratic functions. So this is our day 2. Now let's review a little bit. Let's say that we have this this is a quadratic equation, and I want you to graph this, okay? So let's see who remembers. What's our first step? If I want to graph this, we know what it looks like, right? This is a what class? Quadratic equation, and when you graph, what do you get, class? You get a parabola. And is it going to open upward or downward? Upward, right? It's going to be smiley face. So, what's our first step if you want to graph it? Yes, sir. Thank you. What do we need to find first? Good. You need to you need to identify A, B, and C for this quadratic equation to find what? Why do we need to find A, B, C for this? Right? Why do we need A, B, C for? What are you going to do with A, B, C? You're going to find D? What first? Can you just blindly plug in any values of X and make a table of values for this? Who remembers? Okay, talk to your group. I'll wait. What do we need to find? What are we going to do with A, B, C? I'll wait. Go ahead. Everybody think about it. Hey, guys, why can't we just plug in like nice values of X, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that, and get a bunch of order pairs? Would that give you a nice points that we were looking for? No. Aiden, what do we need to then do to find first? With I'm sorry? Yeah, if you're gonna do a table, like I said, which values of X are you gonna try to plug in then? 0 through 6. Why 0 through 6? Because if you can't just blindly choose 0 through 6. This is what we talked about yesterday. Don't we need to find what? The vertex, Aiden. What's a vertex?
The point on the graph where the line.
Exactly. It's the point, like either the lowest point of the parabola or the highest point, depending on what you have. Isn't that what we need? Because we need a vertex to tell us, right? That's the point that we need to figure out. That's the point in the middle, and then we need to find 2 others on the right of that point, and then 2 others on the left of that point. Right, Aiden? Do you remember? So how do we find a vertex? What was the formula that we talked about? That's right. We need to find negative p over 2a. That gives us the x-coordinate of the vertex. And how do you find the y-coordinate, guys? You plug it in. I just simply wrote f of negative p over 2a. You guys remember this? Okay, so what is my a in this case? Class?
2.
What's my b?
4.
What's my c?
Negative 3.
So go ahead, everybody find me the vertex. Okay, using this first step, we know that it's going to look like negative p over 2a comma f of negative p over 2a. Go ahead, everybody try. I'll wait. Okay, Carly, what'd you get when you plug in? Yeah, for the x-coordinate of the vertex? Negative 1. How many people agree? Very good. So look, when you plug in, did you all use parentheses? And did you guys, were you careful with that negative? That negative belongs to the formula, right? So it's negative times b, whatever b is, over 2 times a, okay? So you get negative 1, and of course, when you find the x-coordinate, y-coordinate is always easy to find. All you have to do is plug it to the formula. Bella, what do we get when we plug it in? Oh, Bella is not here. How about Patty, what do we get when we plug in negative 1 to this function? Negative 5. How many people agree with her? Okay, that is correct. You get negative 5. Okay. So you don't get negative 5? Oh. Well, let's try it. Maybe. Okay, so it was 2x. I didn't even do it. 2x f of x equals to 2x squared. What was it? 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. Let's plug it in. So we're going to do 2 times negative 1 squared plus 4 times negative 1 minus 3. By the way, what do you do first here? Do I do 2 times negative 1 first or negative 1 squared first? You got to do negative 1 squared. You have to follow the order of operation, right? You got the exponent. So you get 2 times. What's negative 1 squared, guys? 1 plus, what's 4 times negative 1?
-4.
Negative 4 minus 3. What do you get?
2 minus 7.
This is simply 2 minus 7, which is? Okay. So Patty is correct. It is negative 5. So what is our vertex?
Negative.
Yeah, our vertex is negative 1 comma negative 5. Okay. Isn't that our vertex?
Isn't it supposed to be a downing thing? Oh, I see what I...
So you have to plug in x equals to negative 1 here. I'm basically finding f of negative 1, right? I should leave it as f of x here. Okay, a lot of you didn't get this negative 5. Okay, take a look at it. Does this make sense? Okay? Alright. And then I want you to all finish up graphing. Finish up doing the table. Do you see how, do you notice I chose negative 1 as a middle number, right? And then 2 points on the right of negative 1, which is 0, 1, and then 2 points on the left of it, which is negative 2, negative 3. Right? So go ahead and figure out these points. Yeah, I'll wait. Okay. Do you guys see how I got all these points, right? You choose negative 1. You know that negative 1 is the vertex. So 2 other points on the right side of it, and then 2 other points on the left side of it. That's how we got these, right? So for negative 3, what did you guys get? How about Spencer? 3. Correct. That's what I got. So you just plug in negative 3, right, in place of that. What about for the next one, Lindsay? Huh? Negative 2, negative 3 is correct. Good. Next, Carolyn, what'd you get for negative 1? Yeah. Oh yeah. So what was it? Negative 1 and negative 5. Right. Give me 0, 1. Then yeah, you're right. That was a vertex. So we got that. Okay. For 0, what did we get? Negative 3 is correct. For 1, what do we get? Pair.
For 1?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't get that far yet.
Okay. Finish it up. I'll wait. What'd you say? 3 is correct. Okay. Does that make sense? Did you all get these points? So when you plot them, did you all get to plot them or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, when you plot them, this is what you should have gotten, right? There's your, thank you. There's your parabola. By the way, for parabolas, can I just connect the dots and make it like a stick figure kind of thing? No, that'll be wrong because it's a curve, right? Parabola is not not made up of line segments. It's a nice curve, okay? By the way, as this goes up and up, right? Guess what happens to the width of the parabola? It expands. It expands to, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's my vertex, negative 1, negative 5. Okay, so that's what we had so far. Now today we're going to show you how to complete your homework assignment, because on your homework assignment they ask you something called the equation of the axis of symmetry. What do you think? By the way, what do you think this means? Axis of symmetry. Yes, Tajwar?
It's the vertical line that's on the vertex.
Yeah, it's the vertical line that separates into 2 equal pieces for this parabola. It's this vertical line right here. Look, let me draw the axis of symmetry. Tajwar is correct. It's this vertical line. Yeah, it's this vertical line, right, guys? You see how that vertical line? Do you see why it's called the axis of symmetry? Right? The left side and the right side, they look exactly alike, right? Like symmetrical. That's why it's called axis of symmetry. So they ask for the equation. So how do you write an equation of a vertical line? This is the axis of. How do you write an equation of a vertical line? What do you know about a vertical line? Yes, it's x equals something, isn't it? Right? Because isn't that the equation of a vertical line? Because think about it. Every point on this vertical line, what do you know about the value of x? It's negative 1, isn't it, in this case? Do you see that? Look, every point on this vertical line, isn't that right? Every order pair on this vertical line, x is always equal to negative 1, correct? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so fact. Here's a fact. This is the easy fact. Equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals to what? What number is this going to be every time?
Equals to x.
It's going to be the same as the what?
Vertex.
X coordinate of the vertex. And how do we get the x coordinate of the vertex? You guys remember? So this, for this case, it's negative 1. But how do we always get the x coordinate of the vertex? Yeah.
Negative a over 2. Wait, no. Negative
Negative b over 2a. So it's the same exact number as what we got when we were looking for the vertex. So on your homework, this is going to be really easy. They're going to ask you to find the equation of the axis of symmetry. All you have to do is what? Write down x equals 2. That number we found for the x-coordinate of the vertex, which is negative p over 2a. Okay? That's all you have to do. Yeah, so I want you to go back to your homework now for tonight. And then when they ask for the equation of the axis of symmetry, that's all you have to write, okay? So do you all know what to do when they ask for the axis of symmetry? It's really easy. All you have to do is, you know it's a vertical line. So it's going to be x equals 2, and it has 2. It's going to be the same as that x-coordinate of the vertex, right? Because it goes through the vertex, doesn't it? Right? So it's going to be, and since it's a vertical line, right, you know it's going to be x equals to negative p over 2a. Very easy, okay? Does this make sense? Now, how many of you noticed they also asked for something else? Didn't they ask for the something called the let's see. Yes, they do ask for least value. What do you think they mean by least value for this parabola is? They also ask for the least value. Anybody have any idea what they mean by this? Yes.
The vertex,
Yeah, which part of the vertex? Which coordinate of the vertex do you think they're asking? Yes. It's the y coordinate. Least value means just the y coordinate of the vertex. Because that tells you how low this parabola goes up to, right? Isn't that the lowest point of this parabola, this y? Which is what in this case? What's the least value for this? Negative 5. So on your homework, didn't they ask for the least value of the parabola? Okay, now do you know what to write down? They simply means what's the lowest value of this parabola goes up to in terms of the y value? Well, the lowest it gets to is negative 5 because that's where the vertex is. So does that make sense?
So you just write
Yeah, so when they ask for the least value, you write down negative 5. But this only occurs when the parabola opens upward, right? What if the parabola opens downward? Then what are they going to ask you? Yes, the greatest value is correct. Does that make sense? So that's why sometimes they ask for the least value. Sometimes that's why they ask for the greatest value. Could I ask for a greatest value for this one? Of course not, because it's going to go up forever, right? So the greatest value of y is infinity. So that's they can't really ask you for that. But I could ask for the least value for this. Do you guys see what they're asking? So on your homework tonight, that's what you need to complete. Okay, that's why we ask you to finish up those ones I assigned. Okay. So let's try another one. And this time I'm just going to give you the function, and I want you to do the whole thing yourself. Okay. Let's see if you really understood this. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. So look at example 2. It says find the vector for this g of x equals to vertex. G of x equals to negative x squared plus 2x plus 2. Find the vertex. B, find the equation of the axis of symmetry. C, graph. D, find the greatest value. Okay. So, by the way, how come this time it says greatest value, not least value? Okay, some of you see it. Michael? Yeah, what is negative? Yeah, not the parabola is negative, but the a, the coefficient of the x squared term is negative. Remember, when a is negative, what kind of parabolas do you get? Downward, right? The sad face one. That's why it's going to ask you for the greatest value. Does that make sense? Yeah. So depending on what the parabola looks like, they would either ask you for the greatest value or the least value, right? It makes sense. Go ahead, everybody try out. Wait, okay. All right. So who can tell me how to find the vertex? How about Aiden? We come back to you now. Okay. So how do I find the vertex for this?
Negative b over 2a.
Good. Negative b over 2a is the x coordinate of the vertex. What did you get when you do that?
Negative 2 over 1.
Good. Negative 2 over 1, which is?
Negative 2.
Negative 2? Wait, don't we get 1? Yeah, b over 2a. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's negative b over 2a, remember? Okay, so you should get 1, not.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Does that make sense? All right, so then when we plug in 1, did you all get 3 as your y coordinate of the vertex? So we found, how many people got the vertex as 1, 3? Okay, so if you got that, then you know what to plug in for your tables of value, right? 1 goes in the middle, right? So what are the numbers you're going to use? What are the two numbers on the left side of this 1? 2 and 3. What are the two other points? Yes, Jason. 0 and negative 1 is correct. So did you all get this table? Here we go. Hold on. Oh wait, before we do that, what's our we have to find, B part says find the axis of symmetry. What's the axis of symmetry? You don't just say 1. You need the equation of the axis of, so x equals 1 is correct. Because that will get you what kind of line? Vertical line, right? So if we ask for the equation of the axis of symmetry, don't just say 1, it'll be x equals 1. And of course, as we said before, look, you got 0, you got 1 as the middle number, right? And then you need 2 points on the right of 1, and then you need 2 points on the left side. All right, so somebody give me the order pairs when you plug in -1. What about, how about Kevin? What do you get when you plug in -1 here? Were you able to do that one? No? Okay, we'll come back to you. Who's got this one? Dana? -1 and? -1. Is that right? Good. What about for 0? Kevin, you could do this one, right? When you plug in 0 to this equation, what do you get? 2 is correct. Good. Do you see that? Okay. For 1, well, we just found 1, didn't we? 1, you get 3. That's our vertex, right? Aaron, where did you get for 2? 2 and 2 is correct. And then what about for 3, class? You get? -1. Okay, so did you all graph it? Yes? Okay, did you get this graph right here? I even drew the axis of symmetry also. And do you see how you get the greatest value of 3? Did you all get greatest value of 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the highest point, right? This parabola will be at, since it's a upside down parabola, right? That's the highest point this parabola will get to. Any question? You don't have to graph the line of symmetry, I just did it. But unless they ask you to draw the line of symmetry, you don't have to draw the line of symmetry. That's why I did it with dotted line like that. Okay. Is this easy? Oh, by the way, when do we get the greatest value? When A is what? Negative. Very good. Oh, it says right here, right? When A is negative, we get the greatest value. When A is positive, what do they ask you? They gotta ask you for the least value. Does that make sense? So A determines whether or not we get greatest value or the least value. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. All right. So let's review a little bit in terms of what we learned, as in function notation. Do you guys remember the difference between f of 0 versus f of x equals to 0? Okay. For f of 0, that's easy. All you have to do is plug in x equals 0 and find the value of y. What does this mean? F of x equals 0. Yes. Yeah, that means your y is 0, and you're looking for the value of x that makes the whole thing equal to 0. Here's an example. So on your homework, they're going to ask you something like this. They want you to find the f of 0 and then f of x equals 0. So here's the example. They give you something like f of x equals to 2x plus 10. So go ahead, everybody find me f of 0, and then a. Find me b, f of x equals 0. Go ahead, everybody try it. Let's see if you guys remember this from last time. Go ahead, everybody. I'll wait. All right, so who could tell me for the first one, f of 0, how about Dakota? What do I do for f of 0? I do what? F of 0 equals to what? 2 times 0 plus 10, which is simply good. Easy, right? Now, what about the other one? How about Chris? How do I do the second part? F of x equals 0. Tell me what to plug in. So in place of f of x, what are we going to plug in now? They're telling you this whole f of x equals to what? No, so in place of f of x, they're telling us now f of x, this y, equals what? Equals to? No, it's not 10. This equals to 0. Equals to 2x plus 10. That's what we have here. Do you see what we're saying? We're saying this f of x now is equal to 0. You just plug that in place of f of x. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what we're doing? So, Chris, what do we do to solve this now? Solve for x now, right? So what do I do? Subtract 10 from both sides. We get negative 10 equals to 2x. What does x come out to? Yeah, negative 5. So x equals negative 5. So when you plug in negative 5 in place of x, guess what? Your y, or f of x, comes out to 0. That's what this is saying. F of x equals 0. Do you see? Okay, so on your homework tonight, they're going to give you, instead of these simple ones, try this one. G of x equals to, not a linear equation, but they're going to give you an x squared minus 8x plus. They give you a quadratic. And so go ahead and find g of 0 and g of x equals to 0. Go ahead, everybody do this now. So what would you do, for example, what would you do if they give you this example? Now, instead of linear, they give you a quadratic. Okay, what would you do? Go ahead, everybody try, I'll wait, okay? So for f of g of 0, you just simply get g squared, 0 squared minus 8 times 0 plus 15, which is what, guys? So that's easy. Now, what about this? This means 0 equals to what? X squared minus 8x plus 15. Do you guys remember zero product property? What do you have to do with the right side? Factor. What do you need? 3 and 5. Which one is negative? Very good. So what are your solutions? There are two of them. This is true if x equals to 3 or what? Have a great day. Thank you.